Stereophonic.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Lincoln City Council meeting of Monday, April 7th, 2025. Please be advised a copy of the Open Meetings Act is posted at the back of the chambers by the northwest door. I'll ask us all first to rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a short moment of silent meditation, and please remain standing if you are able. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated.
Where do these people come from? Jeez, they're hiding them outside.
The order of business of the City Council is as follows. The clerk will call the items listed on the agenda. Under public hearing, anyone wishing to speak on an item must first register and sign in at the table located in the lobby. The council shall require any member of the public addressing the council to identify themselves, the name of any organization represented by such person, and their address, unless the address requirement is waived to protect the security of the individual. Each speaker should state whether they are speaking in favor or in opposition to the item, and testimony is limited to 5 minutes per speaker. Anyone wishing to speak on an agenda item should come forward after the clerk has read the item and the applicant has presented. After public comments, the applicant may make one short rebuttal. After all public hearings, the council will vote on resolutions and items listed under third reading. On the second and last Mondays of the month, immediately prior to adjournment, anyone may speak on an issue not on the agenda for that day, nor planned for a future agenda. And we ask that all speakers strive for civility and allow the business of council to proceed unimpeded. I'll ask the clerk to read the first item of business, but we do have a special presentation this afternoon, and so that will proceed first. And then I'll have an additional remark before we get to the consent agenda. Madam Clerk.
Our first item today for our City Council meeting of Monday, April 7th, 2025 is our Mayor's Award of Excellence.
Good afternoon, Mayor, and welcome.
Good afternoon, Chairperson Washington and members of the City Council. It is so nice to be back before you once again to present a Mayor's Award of Excellence. This one is going for the month of January, and it is being awarded to Matthew Hudson, who is a systems software integrator with our joint City-County Information Services Division of the Finance Department. Matthew was nominated by Lancaster County Attorney System Specialist Jessica Seymour in the categories of productivity, loss prevention, and customer relations for his work to develop a data dashboard. And the Lancaster County Attorney's Office had long sought to create a data dashboard that could organize and share data while improving the public's understanding of their work. And to bring that idea to life, they turned to IS, Information Services, which provides cost-effective business and information technology services to both Lancaster County and the City of Lincoln. And recognizing the county's need, Matthew began working on the dashboard last April. He was demonstrating an outstanding commitment to excellence, ensured that the project met deadlines, and maintained a problem-solving mindset throughout. And thanks to his determined efforts, the data dashboard went live this past December, becoming the first dashboard of its kind in Nebraska. So his work is really a testament to how the City of Lincoln and Lancaster County collaborate to serve the public and everyone who calls this community home. In their nomination letter, Ringer and Seymour wrote, quote, Matthew's responsiveness and collaborative nature made him a valuable partner, and his proactive research and resourcefulness saved significant costs by reducing the need for external out-of-county support. So I hope you will join me on behalf of the city in congratulating Matthew Hudson for his creativity, his collaboration, and his dedication. And with that, I'd like to invite up Craig Gifford from IS to say a few words.
Craig Gifford with Information Services, and I just wanted to thank the Mayor and also thank the County Attorney's Office for recognizing Matt We do a lot of work. We troubleshoot a lot of problems and sometimes aren't necessarily favorable work because we're alleviating the frustration, but it's nice to have opportunities to create something new and something that really raises the bar for how we use data and how we utilize information to make the lives of constituents and everybody better. And Matt put a lot of effort into it. He has a lot of programming skills as well as his expertise in GIS. And with all of that, I just wanted to say thank you, Matt, and really appreciate you on the team.
Matt, would you like to say a few words and maybe introduce your family?
Just want to say thank you. My family's over here. My wife, Ann. My youngest, Alex. Sophia's my oldest, and then Keenan's on the far end over there trying to hide from everyone. Thank you again. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I know that our work, no one's work here at the city could be done without IS. Both the security piece of it as well as the data, collecting the data and making it something that we can all recognize and access quickly. So thank you so much. You keep us running.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Mayor.
You.
All right.
Good job on the kids, too.
We'll give the IS and Mr. Hudson's family a chance to
That'd be nice.
to vacate, because we probably can't talk them all into staying for the entire meeting.
About empties out there.
Yeah.
Madam Clerk, before we call the consent agenda, I just wanted to remind folks, the consent agenda does have items that will be presented, and I'll ask for people who have one of these items to present to come forward before anyone comes forward to speak on an item on consent. Madam Clerk.
Our consent agenda is sections 1, 2, and 3.
All right, any directors who have an item that they'd like to present, either 1A, B, or C, please come forward.
Good afternoon, Elizabeth Elliott, Director of Lincoln Transportation Utilities, 555 South 10th. I am here to touch on item 1A, which is approving the programming agreement between the city and the Nebraska Department of Transportation. This is an agreement between NDOT and the city. It's ultimately, essentially, it spells out the funding sources, the splits. This is 80% funded by the state, 20% by the city. It is a federal project, so there is a little bit more to do with this. So the design is going to start now with this agreement being executed. Right-of-way acquisition, we anticipate 2028, and again, that's after any NEPA and environmental that we have to do, with construction anticipated in 2029. So this is just the first of several agreements that you frequently see before you. This kicks off the design phase. NDOT is facilitating this project, and this is just required as part of their agreements. So happy to answer any questions you might have.
Councilors, do you have questions? All right, thank you very much, Director
Thank you.
Elliott. All right. Welcome, Director Reyes.
Good afternoon. Jamie Reyes with the Lincoln Commission on Human Rights, and I'm here to speak on item 1B in support of the appointment of Dr. Karen Kassebaum and Kevin Custer to the Lincoln Commission on Human Rights for terms to expire December 31st of 2027. These two individuals both are very community-oriented individuals who are already serving their community in a number of capacities, either through service on boards or community organizations. And this, they've both noted in their applications, would provide them a different opportunity to serve their community by serving as a commissioner with LCHR. Currently, Dr. Kassebaum serves as the Global Inclusion Lead at Huddle, and Kevin Custer serves as the Business Development Leader at Schemmer. And so I will give each of them an opportunity to come and speak as to why they would like to serve with LCHR.
Okay, thank you. Which one of you would like to come forward? You can both come forward. We have. Yeah.
First, but I'm all about inclusion. Okay, well, it's so great to be here. Thank you.
Good afternoon and welcome.
Yeah, good afternoon. The reason I would like to take advantage of this opportunity is because I am deeply committed to inclusion in every aspect of my entire life. And I would like to bring my inclusivity to the Commission for Human Rights.
Thank you, Dr. Cassabaum. Any questions for Dr. Cassabaum? All right.
I have a question.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
Councilman Duda.
You said something on your application that you had an interest in learning more about state policies.
Yes, because all I know is what I read and experience. When I was at the University of South Carolina and I created Inclusive Excellence Institute, a part of my institute, what was missing was policy and helping individuals understand policies so they can make better educated decisions when they are voting or making decisions in relation to where they stand. And I think that's really important. So
We could use more of that. that's
I
for
could use a
sure.
lot more of that. Yes.
Well, thank you
yes.
very much for
Yeah.
your application.
Thank you.
Right.
Can I sit down now?
And Mr. Custer.
Yes. Hello, everyone. So Kevin Custer. The reason for me being here today was, 5 years ago or so, I started working economic development in the city, and I've since moved on to Schemmer and do business development. But upon that time in my life, something changed inside me in terms of civic involvement and kind of doing my duty to my community. I've always cared about people, but it has funneled more into Lincoln and making this a place that I want to be and I want for my girls to grow up in. This seemed like a wonderful opportunity to take that next step and help represent people from all sorts of walks of life, and also help be a liaison for businesses in the community, and just listen and learn and do what I can to make Lincoln better. So that's why I'm here today. It's felt like a great next step for me.
Thank you. Thank you. Any questions or comments for Mr. Custer?
I like the lapel pin.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. You bet. Councilman Show got him from the same spot, so I don't know if he has any more, but you can hit him up afterwards if he finds them. So.
Well,
Thank y'all.
thank
Good job.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you. And thank you both for your willingness to serve our community on the Human Rights Commission. All right. And is there anyone from finance to talk about idle funds? I totally understand. Then, all righty. So is there anyone here in chambers who'd like to address any of these specific items?
Hello, my name is Anastasia Finner. I'm going to waive my address for my own safety. I'm here to just discuss.
Which item are you addressing first?
So it's in the reports of city officers, number 1D, report of city treasurer of city cash on hand at the close of business, February 20th, 2025.
Okay.
All right. So this document right here shows the amount of, monthly city cash on hand report. And if you look at the second line here, let's see, it says, I desire to report that the city cash was held by me, being the treasurer, as follows, which I deem satisfactory unless advised and further directed in the matter by you. So if you look, you see there's U.S. Bank, Wells Fargo Bank is on there twice. U.S. Bank has over $2 million in it, and the Wells Fargo looks like it has collectively in the credit account and the bank account around maybe 100,000. And so these are city monies that are being held in institutions that we know purposely fund the Israeli military. And so that is Lincoln City dollars being put in banks, to do harm. A city that cares about human rights should definitely care about the kind of institutions that they house their money in, especially when those institutions, kill people, right? By investing in the Israeli military, right? That military, which then buys bombs from places like General Dynamics, which has a manufacturer here in Lincoln that, in part makes 2,000-pound bombs, but also guidance systems for missiles, which are all here to, kill children, right? So this is the way that city dollars quietly, very nonchalantly, are used to harm people across the world. One, it should not just be placed on file, because that is very inaccessible to a lot of folks, right? Especially people that don't have, say, a desktop computer, because when you go to look at the city agenda on your phone and you do not have a PDF reader, you will not be able to see something like the cash on hand report. So you would have to go to a desktop computer, which sure, some folks can find at the library, but there's a lot of folks who are at a crossroads of being unable to physically go to a place that has internet access on a desktop with which they can read these city documents, or it needs to be made accessible for people to be able to view it on their phones, right? It's pretty disgusting that the city is not, doing its best to make sure that folks can even access information that they should be entitled to, because there's just not a way to do it on just a regular phone, especially if you're someone who has a flip phone, right? So having that be on somewhere where especially older folks, say they watch television or what have you, that would be a much easier way than having people go online to find a city document, especially when it seems like you're trying to hide the fact that we're on purpose investing in genocide in Palestine, which is, ongoing. The city has known this for a long time, and they're aware of where their money is being held because they, the treasurer and clerk, there's a little Lincoln stamp on there. So, yeah, city dollars being used to quietly fund genocide. And also the city not being accessible to the populace at large by not discussing this document and showing it in real time. So that's why I showed it today. Have a good day.
Is there anyone else here in chamber? Oh. Is there anyone else here in chambers who'd like to address council on an item on the consent agenda? All right. Madam Clerk.
We can now vote on these items. Item 1A is approving a programming agreement between the City of Lincoln and State of Nebraska Department of Transportation for the use of surface transportation block grants funds for preliminary engineering right-of-way, utility relocation, construction, and construction engineering on the 27th Street Bridge south of Rokeby Road, introduced by Weber.
So moved.
I'll second.
Second, Carlson. Discussion? Madam Clerk.
Weber?
Yes.
Bowers?
Yes.
Carlson?
Yes.
Duden?
Yes.
Schob?
Yes.
Beckius?
Yes.
Washington.
Yes.
Motion carried 7-0. Item 1B is appointing Dr. Karen Kasselbaum and Kevin Custer to the Lincoln Commission on Human Rights for terms to expire December 31st of 2027, introduced by Weber.
So moved.
Second.
Second, Carlson. Discussion? Madam Clerk.
Bowers?
Yes.
Carlson?
Yes.
Schob?
Yes.
Duden?
Yes.
Beckius?
Yes.
Weber?
Yes.
Washington.
Yes.
Motion carried 7-0. Item 1C is approving the distribution of funds representing interest earnings on short-term investments of idle funds during the month ended February 28, 2025, introduced by Beckius.
So moved.
Second.
Second, Carlson. Any discussion? Madam Clerk.
Schob?
Yes.
Duden?
Yes.
Carlson?
Yes.
Weber?
Yes.
Bowers?
Yes.
Beckius?
Yes.
Washington.
Yes.
Motion carried 7-0. Item 2 is introduced by Schob.
So moved. I'll second.
Second, Carlson. Discussion? Madam Clerk.
Beckius?
Yes.
Weber?
Yes.
Bowers?
Yes.
Carlson?
Yes.
Duden?
Yes.
Schob?
Yes.
Washington.
Yes.
Motion carried 7-0.
All right. Let's move ahead to public hearing liquor resolutions.
I'll call item 4A, application of Glacial Till Vineyard LLC, doing business as Glacial Till Vineyard and Winery for special designated licenses to cover an outdoor area measuring approximately 10 feet by 10 feet at the Haymarket Farmers Market on 7th and P Street on May 3rd, 10th, 17th, 24th, and 31st, June 7th, 14th, 21st, and 28th, July 5th, 12th, 19th, and 26th, August 2nd, 9th, 16th, 23rd, and 30th, September 6th, 13th, 20th, and 27th, and October 4th and 11th from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m.
All right. Is the applicant here? Seeing no applicant here, is there anyone here in chambers who'd like to speak either in favor or in opposition to what looks like the farmer's market stand for Glacial Teal? Seeing no one coming forward, we can move on to the voting session. So, Councilman Shob.
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we approve this application for the farmer's market.
Second.
Second by Carlson. Any discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk.
Bowers?
Yes.
Carlson?
Yes.
Schob?
Yes.
Duden?
Yes.
Beckius?
Yes.
Weber?
Yes.
Washington?
Yes.
Motion carried 7-0.
All right. Spring is definitely here. Farmer's market is just around the corner. All right. Let's move on to a public hearing on ordinances, second reading, and related resolutions. Madam Clerk.
Item 5A is Street and Alley Vacation 25002, application of Chateau Properties North LLC to vacate a portion of Granger Parkway right-of-way generally located at South 44th Street and Dillon Drive.
Good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon, Council. My name is Mike Eckert with Civil Design Group, 8535 Executive Woods Drive, Suite 200 here in Lincoln. So we have a vacation request here today, which was the result of a reconfiguration in a roadway at approximately 44th and Yankee Hill. So the part that's hashed out there was the original design that was platted, and then alterations needed to be made, and the road curved over further. So we're now getting ready to final plat that area and needed to vacate that. Urban Development agreed, since we had replaced it with actually more linear foot of right-of-way dedicated, that they've assigned a zero value to this, which would allow it to go back. There's actually a pond there.
Emergency Communications Head from M05 to M07.
Good afternoon, Mr. Hoppy.
Good afternoon, Counselor. I am Rick Hoppy, 7345 Beaver Creek Lane. I'm also the Mayor's Chief of Staff. I wanted to ask if you could move this to pending, no date certain, but keep the public hearing open for action. I want to explain just briefly why we're trying to do this. As you know, this is a reclassification of the director position in the 911 center to another level, which will accompany a pay increase. We'd also like to have that discussion about compensation for the 911 dispatch workers as well, and have been working our way through an analysis and potential reclass that we'd like to come before you as well. On top of that, we have had some challenges with retention, and we have a couple strategies which will also need your blessing. The point being, it seems a little out of order to consider this one without the other two. Not quite certain when we're going to get it all done, the T's crossed, the I's dotted. That's why I'm asking for no date certain. But when those two pieces are ready, we'd like to move forward with those and the other piece, so you're getting a complete picture of the changes that we intend to make to improve the working conditions in the 911 center.
Seems fair. Thank you for that explanation. Are there any questions from councilors? All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Hoppy. All right. So that's something we can take care of now.
With that, I'd like to make a motion that we delay this indefinitely
until they are ready to represent it.
Okay.
I'll second.
Thank you. Carlson, second. So Tom Duden, John Carlson, and that it will actually be pending, no date certain. Okay. Madam Clerk?
Bowers?
Yes.
Carlson?
Yes.
Schob?
Yes.
Duden?
Yes.
Beckius?
Yes.
Weber?
Yes.
Washington?
Yes.
Motion carried 7-0.
Chair
All right.
Washington?
Yes.
Might we just make sure that there's no one here in the chamber who would like to speak on this item today?
Oh,
I don't think there is, but
yeah, I'm sorry. Is there anyone here who wanted to speak on this item today? All right. We will have we'll have a public hearing when it comes back. So, all right. Thank you. Good call. Thank you, Mr. Beckius. All right, Madam Clerk, let's move ahead to ordinances, third reading.
I'll call item 7A, annexation 25002, application of Fire Ridge LLC to annex approximately 2.82 acres of property generally located at South 98th Street and Van Dorn Street, introduced by Schob.
So moved. Second.
Second, Carlson, any discussion? Please call the roll.
Bowers?
Yes.
Carlson?
Yes.
Schob?
Yes.
Duden?
Yes.
Beckius?
yes.
Weber?
Yes.
Washington?
Yes.
Motion carried 7-0. Item 7B is Street and Alley Vacation 25001, application of Fire Ridge LLC to vacate a portion of the Tupelo Lane right-of-way generally located northeast of South 102nd Street and Van Dorn Streets, introduced by Schob.
So moved. Second.
Second, Carlson, any discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Bowers?
Yes.
Carlson?
Yes.
Schob?
Yes.
Duden?
Yes.
Beckius?
Yes.
Weber?
Yes.
Washington?
Yes.
Motion carried 7-0. Item 7C is change of zone 25005, application of Fire Ridge LLC to change the zoning designation from H Agriculture to R3 Residential on property generally located at South 98th and Van Dorn Street, introduced by Schob.
So moved. Second.
Second, Carlson, any discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk?
Schob?
Yes.
Duden?
Yes.
Carlson?
Yes.
Weber?
Yes.
Bowers?
Yes.
Beckius?
Yes.
Washington?
Yes.
Motion carried 7-0.
All right. And we have one item for reconsideration under Section 8. Madam Clerk?
Item 8A for reconsideration is reappointing Stacy Bleicher, Catherine Garcia, and Tom Randa to the Lincoln Lancaster County Board of Health of terms to expire April 15th of 2028.
All right. So this item came up for reconsideration. Would the counselor asking for the reconsideration like to present?
Yes, I'd like to change my vote to no for all three. I base this a little bit on the fact that Lincoln Lancaster County had an extended emergency clause that went on because of COVID. At the same time, I don't have anything against any of the three that are on here. I just believe that giving different individuals that opportunity to serve the city of Lincoln, they should have that opportunity as well. And by keeping the same, it's my feeling that we kind of instill the good old boy syndrome and don't shake things up when maybe just some slight changes can be made. So that's my position.
If I may.
All right.
We're a little out of order. I think that's okay, but we would need to make a motion to reconsider, and then we'll need a second, and then we'll need a vote.
So you're making a motion? I'm
But-
making a motion.
He's made the
And
motion.
I've got to give him my explanation.
Yep.
Yes, and
Okay.
thank you. I
All right.
appreciate that. All right, a second.
I will second the motion.
All right, Benny Show. Thank you, Council. All right. So we have that, and we've had a,
Have the discussion.
Now you have to discuss.
so you've explained.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Mr. Duden, pardon me. Any other discussion?
I got some.
Okay, Councilman Bowers.
You know, Tom, I really respect your work and your viewpoint, and I want to make sure that I fully understand the reasoning, especially given the rarity of asking for reconsideration, particularly when it comes to individuals I work with directly. I've served alongside you for the past 2 years, and if there was concerns about your ability to serve or, your performance, I would speak up. And as president of the Board of Health, I want to ensure that we have clarity on the record regarding these three members and why you're asking for reconsideration. You and I have often been on the lone side of a vote together, and I think that this is a reflection of our ability to work together. I was surprised when I saw this get added to our agenda because I had not heard of any concerns from about any of these members, or that you were thinking about bringing this up. You mentioned that we had an extended emergency clause because of COVID and feel like that we need to have different individuals given that opportunity. Are you questioning the qualifications or suitability of any of those individuals currently in their role?
I think I said no to that.
Okay, just wanted to be clear on that. Do you plan on opposing members on other boards after a specific time if the length of service is one of your concerns? Is this?
It depends on the board. It depends on the issues, too.
Can you explain to me what the Board of Health's role is in relation to the Lincoln-Lancaster County Health Department?
Well, I think it's to guide policy and rules that affect the health of citizens of Lincoln-Lancaster County.
So the Board of Health actually is not a policy-making board. It's an advisory board. They provide guidance and expertise and recommendations, but they don't have any decision-making authority. They help inform leadership with insights, experience, or specialized knowledge, but it's up to the main governing body rather to follow their advice or not. You mentioned these voting against all three of these in particular. So what can you tell me about Tom Randa?
I didn't have my notes with me, but if I recall, Katie was a dentist, and the one that I felt that was maybe the most qualified was Stacy, and Tom was probably the least.
So Tom has been the executive director of the Good Neighbor Community Center since 2012.
Yes.
He'd worked there since 2007. He progressed from being an IT position to program director and executive director. He holds a degree in business and is highly skilled in program management, evaluation, and community engagement. Tom moved to Lincoln, Nebraska from Kenya when he was 18 and has made his home here in Lincoln over the past 25 years. In addition to his work, Tom volunteers at his church, teaching children and assisting with disaster response through his church. And he's also been involved with different committees within Lincoln Public Schools, which I think really speaks to his ability when we talk about reaching different communities through the work of the health department. What do you know about Dr. Katie Garcia?
Tennis player, UNL.
Yeah, good. Yep, she used to be a tennis player. And just to add a little bit more context, as part of the board, we have to have a physician, a veterinarian, and a dentist, and 5 publicly minded individuals. Dr. Katie Garcia is a pediatric dentist from Lincoln, born and raised here, and she completed a pediatric residency in New York and Chicago, where then she chose to return to Lincoln. She comes from a family of dentists, including her father, grandfather, uncle, and brother, and she has been recognized as a leader both locally and state. She's a diplomat of the American Board of Pediatric Dentistry and holds members in several prestigious organizations, including the American Dental Association, the American Academy of Pediatric Dentistry, the Lincoln District Dental Association, and the Nebraska Dental Society. In addition to being recognized as a leader, her practice also gives back tangibly to the community. Dr. Garcia's practice hosts annually a Give Kids a Smile Day, where they provide free dental care and transportation to elementary students who have been referred from school nurses as having dental pain and not able to get care.
Okay, can I add just something?
Yeah.
I'm not asking everybody here on the board to change their vote. I'm asking to have the opportunity to change my vote.
Right, and I hear what you're saying, and if we are going to have a conversation about that they should no longer be in their roles, I do think it's important that I'm very clear on what their biography is. And the last one that I have is Dr. Stacy Bleicher. She's an experienced pediatrician who became involved in the evaluation of care for abused children early in her career. Since 1997, she's been evaluating children for sexual and other forms of abuse through the Child Advocacy Center, also known as Brave Bee, where she currently serves as the medical director. In addition to her clinical work, she also works as a pediatric hospice physician and has contributed to several gubernatorial committees, including the Governor's Children's Task Force, the Child Death Review Team, and the Nebraska Partnership Council, where she also served as a consultant for the Foster Care Review Board. So I think that these people are well qualified and not at all in line with the good old boys network, but have a proven record and proven skills that our health department needs in order to be in touch with the community and to fulfill their responsibility. Now, you previously voted in favor of reappointing individuals to the Board of Health. Last year, you voted in support of Jasmine Kingsley, Dr. Dustin Loy, and Jay Jarvis. Can you explain why you might have changed your mind on or stance on these 3 members specifically when it doesn't appear there's been any indication that their performance had been lacking?
Like I said, I'm here to change my vote. Councilman Blowers, I'm not asking you to change your vote or anybody else's vote here. And I've had some contact with constituents. They've had a different view and felt that some changes should possibly be made, and I have to support my constituents just like you have to support yours.
So what happened over the past week? I mean, we had the agenda, we read it, Sony read it out loud.
I made a mistake.
Okay.
I'm trying to correct it.
You know, and I think that like what also adds to, you know, the, raises up this issue, or why it's kind of, you know, bringing this to front, is asking for a reconsideration is a pretty rare thing that happens. And so that must mean that there must be pretty something serious or significant. And if we're talking about them being part of a good old boys network, I'm gonna be very clear on what their record is. They have served their community admirably. And I'm just genuinely surprised that this was brought forward without notice. And to see it pop up in the agenda, especially considering I feel like we have a good working relationship. And if there were concerns that you had, I'm surprised that we weren't able to have a conversation about that beforehand. So those are my questions. I wanted to put that on the record.
James, we barely get a chance to talk about some of these issues when they pop up on the agenda, because we don't know necessarily what's going to be on the agenda from one week to the next sometimes. So I apologize for my incorrect vote the first time around, but in the future, if I have questions about that, I'll be sure to talk to you.
I think I've said all that I needed to say.
Are there any other counselors who'd like to speak? And I think we've got clarity. We have a motion and a second on a request for reconsideration. Councilman Duden has explained why he brought this forward and his reasoning. And Councilman Bowers has had an extensive declaration of the qualifications. Councilman Weber.
Just a point of clarification before we take this vote. A yes vote is to reconsider.
Yes,
And a no vote is not to reconsider the question.
that is correct.
Okay.
We're not voting on the issue, we're just voting on reconsideration.
Do we reconsider this vote or not?
Okay. Just wanted to clarify.
Okay, was there another person over here who wanted, all right.
Thank you.
So, I think the clarification is good. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll on the reconsideration, on the decision to reconsider or not this item?
Carlson,
No.
Schob,
No.
Bowers,
No.
Duden,
Yes.
Beckius,
Yes.
Weber,
No.
Washington.
No, and I'm voting no because I wasn't here last week.
Motion lost. 2-5.
So the item will not be reconsidered.
And what was the vote count?
The vote,
2-5.
2-5. All right, let's move on to the next item, Madam Clerk.
Section 9 is our resolutions first readings, item 9A through 9C. And section 10 is our pending list, items 10A through 10D.
All right. I'll take a motion for adjournment.
Move adjournment, Beckius?
second.
Second, Carlson. The motion was made by Beckius. Madam Clerk.
Duden,
Yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
Schob,
Yes.
Beckius,
Yes.
Carlson,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Washington.
Yes,
Motion carried 7-0.
we are adjourned.